Hey guys, it's vizzN here, and this is episode 2 of the interview series. And of course, I'm joined by the one and only panel member, phntem.
Hey guys, yeah, hey.
Hello. Anyway guys, in the background of this interview today, we have a 4v4 gameplay of Taunted versus Audacity on Hard Hat. And the MVP of the game is, of course, Taunted Falx, and he achieved a score of 20 kills, 3 assists, and 14 deaths with the UMP at hand. So what a beast to him. Anyway, we are lucky to have OzFalcon with us this evening. So Falcon, how are you, mate?
Pretty good, fellas. What's happening?
Yeah, not much over here, Falcon.
OzFalcon is, of course, a COD admin for CyberGamer Xbox and a head pug admin. So this interview will pretty much be all about the rule sets for the 4v4s and S&D. Not so much S&D, but generally all about the 4v4s.
Mainly because of the recent ladder patch that Infinity Ward, Falcon did today. So, yeah.
There we go. So, OzFalcon, before we do get into any questions, why don't you give us a quick rundown on these recent rule set changes?
Alright, there's a fair bit's happened. Most of it's been with 4s, but in regards to S&D, we've implemented a rule where you can no longer plant the bomb in a glitchy spot. Basically, there's this concept of bomb wedging, which we've now got a rule against. You have to be able to defuse the bomb standing on the ground, so you can't plant it in a spot where you have to jump to it from somewhere else. So that rule has been added. In regards to 4s, we've removed some maps and game types, so we no longer have Hard Hat CTF, Lockdown Domination, or Dome Domination. The Type 95's gone, Extended Mags are gone, LMGs are banned, and we've got a new map rotation, which is CTF, Dom, CTF, Search, and CTF. And to accommodate that, both the 4s ladders are now best of 5s. Lastly, we've gotten rid of the whole golden flag or replaying CTFs. We're now following the stopwatch rule, and basically the way that works is that if flags are drawn, you replay the map. Basically, once one team captures a flag, the game ends and you swap spawns, and the other team has to capture a flag in less amount of time than the other team did. It's basically who captures a flag the quickest in overtime.
Cool.
Were you going to say something, phntem?
Yeah, but he answered it.
Okay, alright. So these recent changes are, of course, following the Deserto rule set.
That's correct, yep.
As CyberGamer does follow that rule set. So with all these changes in mind, why is it that we choose to follow the Deserto rule set rather than go off on our own?
There's been a lot of talks that we should be following the MLG rule set or Deserto. That's been going on for the last year or so. I think a big factor was the unit, now Vox, going over to the XP LAN, and basically the impression was that they could have done better if they had been better prepared by playing the rule sets that are played over there. And there's a lot of talk this year in 2012 coming that teams are going to be going to MLG. We want them to be prepared, and we don't want to be in our own restrictive rule sets that we have been in the last couple of years. We want to be playing the same rule set that is recognised internationally, and being on par with the rest of the world.
Okay, alright. So I guess it doesn't come down to you anymore in regards to what happens in the rules, unless it's that bomb wedging, which is fairly obvious that should have been taken out.
Yes.
I have seen a couple of videos on that. It's fairly funny to see, but no guys, none of that in your competitive gaming, especially on CG. So the first rule set change with the Hard Hat CTF, Lockdown, Dom, and Dome. In your opinion, was that a good change in regards to removing that?
I personally, and my team as well, we really enjoyed Hard Hat CTF. We thought it was great. We actually quite liked the way it played. We're okay for it being removed. The reason it has been removed, the international community just doesn't like the map because of the large abundance of headshot spots, which they find ruins the map. So that's been taken out. In regards to domination, it's pretty much a spawns issue, and just the fact that domination in this game just plays horribly. We had 4 domination maps, we've now just gone down to 2, just for the sake of still having that game type, but but restricting it. So in the best of 5 rotation, we're actually only playing it now once. With only 2 maps available. And there's also talk, the MLG, when they do release their rule set in the near future, that they're actually going to be scrapping domination altogether.
Oh.
So we're pretty much looking at CTF and search in the long term. But for now, this is what's happening.
Another rule set change was the removal of the Type 95. Was this a change that is welcomed by the CyberGamer admin team, or are you against
Probably
this?
the most controversial of all the changes. Once again, I thought it had its place in the rule set. If anything, I probably would have removed the MP7 before the Type 95. The fact that the Type 95's gone first seems a bit absurd to me. But once again, CyberGamer is not really developing a Force rule set. We're pretty much just copying and pasting from what the international community is doing.
Okay, and to add on to that, of course, you've got extended mags are banned on all weapons, including SMGs.
Yeah, I'd like everyone started using them on the SMGs. With them gone, I don't think anyone's going to be too bothered. It's just something you're just going to adapt to. Everyone will just use sleight of hand, and it'll just play exactly like Black Ops. I don't think anyone will have too many dramas with that.
Okay, and the LMGs being banned is, I guess, fairly obvious. And it's good to see Deserter taking that on as well.
Can't believe they weren't banned. It took them a couple
I
of
can't
months to
believe
do that.
anyone would use them for the food. Consider it being banned.
Unless you're prone 24/7. Now, we looked at the rotation with CTF being in the 3 times domination 1 once and S&D. Now, of course, we're still following that. So, is this something that you agree with as well, or?
It's probably the best thing of the rule set changes, to be honest. The fact that we are playing CTF more than anything else. We've rubbed out domination almost. Search in Force actually works quite well. The Force community, which was semi-anti-search, has grown to like search more. But if you're a Force team and you scrim, you pretty much just scrim CTF. It's the most enjoyable game type, so there's no surprise that it is dominating the map rotation.
Why is Force Search and Destroy getting better? Is it the perks being enabled, or is it some sort of mindset? I mean, what's making Force Search good?
I think overseas it's always been enjoyed. Here, I think it's just been just a growing thing. People have hated it because you'd go from CTF, you'd play Search, and there was sort of like that change in pace between the game types. But I think the Force community has just grown to like it a little bit more. It plays different than the 5s, it plays fast, it almost just becomes sort of like a rushing affair.
It is, yeah.
And people are just enjoying it.
Should that be absorbed into 5v5 S&D, which is the ladder? Or should it stay with no perks?
I think in a 5v5 environment it should probably stay with no perks.
You would like to see it tried out, or just a trial of it? Maybe over this Christmas comp?
The Christmas comp has MP7, type, and flashes removed, is that right?
We're going to be, well, not 100% sure, but I think the idea is that we're going to be not running the same rule set during the entire duration of the Christmas comp.
Okay.
We're going to switch and try different things, so we'll try, I think, no flashes, we'll try no Type 95, we'll try no MP7, we'll try restricting flashes to just the preset classes and banning them on custom classes. But to allow perks on 5s, it's almost like saying we should switch 5v5 search to 4v4 search. It's a totally different ball game.
Yeah, another thing is the whole dead silence thing as well. Like the whole noise part of it makes it competitive on search because it's all about outplaying people and jumping around corners and all that, and just keeping quiet sometimes as well.
That's right.
Yeah. I do agree with that. You shouldn't have perks. Okay. Now, if we look at thanks for the rule set update, by the way. If we look at the whole S&D versus 4v4 thing as well, where teams have moved over because this S&D schedule is just it's too long. March is when we'll start seeing leagues, hopefully, for S&D. Now, is it wise for teams to completely change the 4s? Is it going to be very consistent with all these competitions, or would you reckon teams will start coming back to S&D around March?
I think for teams to come back to S&D, I really think the S&D format needs to change. These whole drawn-out seasons and leagues, which I've been pretty vocal on, I honestly think they have to go. Leagues are fine in terms of dividing teams into certain leagues, like CGI, M, A, and D, by skill level.
Yeah.
But in terms of having a league that goes for 3 months and not starting leagues till March and all this sort of business is a bit ridiculous. It's a format that's been here for years. It's outdated. It needs to be fixed, and it's why Fours is growing and really catching up and stealing search teams who are basically just making the move to Fours. Like the precedent that teams like Mindfreak, Box, Aspire, amongst others, of making that switch is forcing other teams to follow as well.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's to do with the fact that we were doing the math the other day, and before the end of January, 4v4s will have given out over $5,000 in pure cash prizes.
Oh, okay.
And Search will be pretty much just playing CGO finals with a prize value of 0.
It's pretty.
So teams are realizing that this isn't where the prestige is. The prestige is now in Fours. That's where the money is, and that's where they're focusing their attention. They're seeing Frey just knock out competition after competition after competition. Teams like Mindfreak, Box.
Nice.
It's that's unfortunately the bell to signal that we are out of time. So we could have gone for about half an hour on this matter.
I think so too.
Yeah, it's pretty.
So thank you for taking the time to talk to us and do this interview.
No worries, guys.
I also do want to give you this quick opportunity to say hello and give thanks to any sponsors.
Yeah, just a big shout out to all the tournament boys in the organisation.
What's up, Travers, bro?
And a big thanks to all our sponsors, Samsung Control Freaks, Buzz Games, and Blueprint Graphics. Thanks a lot.
Alright, so thanks again for your time, Falcon. And to our viewers, please like, subscribe, and comment on the CyberGamer YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode, guys. Good night. Good night.